Uh, yes, it's been done, but the ones that that are pressurized are very small.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, but and there are very few of them in the world. But it's actually not uncommon to have deep sea corals, especially. There's a few labs in the world that are able to hold them. It's the biggest challenge is actually not the temperature. Um, the biggest challenge is often getting the right seawater mixture.
Um,
Oh,
It's getting the right kind of
I didn't go to
food
point 4.
consistency. It's getting the right current flow, which is challenging in an aquarium
right.
sometimes. But a lot of the animals that are generally shallower than 1,000 meters will do okay at the surface
Get us there faster.
at ambient pressure, but the ones that are
Are we gonna
deeper
get
than
there
about
on the ship?
1,000, 1,500 meters don't often do well in captivity.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can start heading up that way, Nev.
Gotcha. That's
300.
cool. Here's a question for our ROV pilots whenever they're ready.
Sure.
So, here's a question for the ROV pilots. It looks like this is to be the last ROV dive of the expedition for the rest of the year. If this is correct, what would the ROV pilots do? What would the ROV pilots do to finish out the year? Will you go into other research vessels or continue to work aboard the Nautilus?
I'll be on another research vessel.
Which vessel are you going on, Dan?
Thomas G. Thompson, mobilizing in Newport, Oregon to go out to do engineering cruise on the regional scale nodes. Oh, I forget what they're calling it these days. It's basically a cabled observatory off the west coast of Oregon. It goes out through the methane hydrate. Methane hydrate ridge and
Cool.
axial volcano.
This is the observatory that was meant to be connected with Neptune at one point.
Yeah, there was talk of connecting them back in the day. I'm not sure what the current status is. I haven't been out with with this particular group in quite a while.
Cool. So would you say kind of like a aircraft pilot has to get type rated on different aircraft to fly them, you got to get used to different controls, different vehicles?
Yeah.
What would you say the most challenging vehicle to pilot has been in your career?
Every single one of them has unique challenges.
Fair enough. They all have their own gotchas.
The research ROVs are they're highly specialized, so they're quite, they're pretty unique.
Right.
The commercial vehicles are more, like Toyotas.
They can be more standardized.
Yeah.
When we come over the top of this crest, do we have any room to pick up the speed at all?
We did pick up the speed to 0.4.
Cool. Okay.
Then to re-answer that question, the sea spider question a while ago, the question was asking if we've seen any sea spiders and if they're known from this depth. The answer is yes. Yes, they are known for this depth, but no, we've not seen any.
We'll have to be careful to stop her up before the hill this time, though, so we don't have to rush up the bottom of the hill.
Good morning, 4 to 8. It's Cool Octopus. I'm
Thank you,
lurking
Maggie.
behind you.
Can we zoom on this
Oh,
long
hello.
thing? I don't know if this is one of those skulls are. Just want to double check.
Not sure what you're looking
No.
at there.
Yeah, I was just looking at this rock and seeing if it was one of those whale skulls, but it's not.
Is that a
Pretty lumpy.
sea cucumber? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, grape-flavored.
Cool.
Yep.
There's a
Yep.
long black thing on to the left of the sea cucumber that looks skull-like too.
Oh yeah.
Probably another rock.
Yeah,
We're getting
looks
trigger
like a
happy.
Flat rock.
There was, yeah. To answer the question in the chat, is this the last dive of the year? This is the last dive of the Nautilus 2022 season, I believe.
No.
No, we
Is
got
it?
some more.
Yeah. This is the last ROV expedition.
ROV expedition.
Yes.
Yes.
And we may have more dives, too.
But we expect to have more dives.
I lied.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the expedition season continues on. Live broadcasting will continue on. We'll go into our next 2 expeditions, our mapping expeditions up in Papahanaumokuakea Marine National Monument. So there will be chances to participate, opportunistic Q&As, live ship-to-shore interactions for classrooms continuing. And then the 3 expeditions after that will be in partnership with National Geographic, and they'll be around the main Hawaiian Islands, working on a variety of different projects in a little bit more of the shallow water realm. So moving up out of the darkness, we're calling it from shore to the abyss. So some exciting expeditions coming along there too. But the ROVs will come off of the ship, off of Nautilus after this expedition, and have a winter of projects ahead of them.
Some winter love.
Yes. ROV spa.
Are they going to stay in Hawaii, or?
They are going to stay in Hawaii, yes.
Cool.
Mineral oil baths.
Mineral oil bath.
They get some vacation.
Just imagine like a Bacta tank full of mineral oil.
Yeah.
Just a vehicle floating.
With all the respect in the world to
Just
this
zoom on
creature,
that
it looks
guy
like a
if you want.
sock.
A little different than the last few.
The world's most Yeah, definitely. uncomfortable
Synalactid
sock because it'll
longer
spit up
cucumber.
your foot.
Spine. Spikes.
And it's wet. These were the
Ow.
ones that were, not of interest.
Roger. Moving on.
We're still looking for those Emperima, though. We need to see 2 more before we can collect a second.
Is that the sea pig?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a type of sea pig. Yeah.
Is that the gummy squirrel?
Yeah, that's it. That is a name for them.
Okay. Oh,
Have we
gummy
seen like
squirrel.
a big gummy squirrel with a tail? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was relatively big. We have it in one of the slurps.
Okay.
The gummy squirrel. Thank you, person in chat. So, here's another question from chat for Megan, assuming she's still listening.
I'm here.
What can we expect to see on those sort of those mapping expeditions? Like, what do we expect to see on those live streams?
Yeah, on the mapping expeditions, we stream the multi-beam acquisition, and we stream the deck cameras, and then a couple times a week, the communications leads will organize live Q&As, and you can check out our social media. So follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok for updates about those Q&As, and there will be live conversations, so similar to what you're listening and watching right now, where we'll share updates of what we've been mapping over, new sites acquired. The next expedition coming up too is also going to be really cool because it has a combination of technologies aboard. The autonomous surface vessel uncrewed surface vessel Drix is returning to the ship. And so during the day, Drix will be mapping in shallow water near near the islands themselves within the Northwest Hawaiian Islands. And overnight, we'll be doing a combination of multi-beam surveys from the vessel. So there will be a lot of live deck activity, and we'll be able to be relaying with Drix. So
Quick
really it's
zoom
that
there.
like
Sure.
advanced next step of exploration where we're kind of getting multiple operations going at once. So that's definitely going to be a cool one to check out.
Closer, I'm hitting the rock.
And if you are on the Nautilus Live page, you can click on the Expedition tab, and there are individual little key buttons for every expedition coming up. So you can click around through the map or click around through the next expeditions. Lu'ua Ea Hiki Avava Apalawa is the name of the
Okay.
expedition with Drix on board that's coming up next. You can learn more about that name and about what you'll see there.
So stay tuned.
Yeah, Nautilus Live continues until late October this year, so stick with us.
And then after October, when does it come back?
Good question. We're working on the 2023 schedule right now. We're looking at potentially an April mobilization and live expeditions starting in April or May and going through December next year. So another 8-month season of live
Nice.
broadcasting. Yeah.
So April showers brings more Nautilus expeditions.
It was almost catchy.
Yeah. Have you thought about a career in marketing?
I have. I think I'll starve.
You'll starve?
Because the joke is you won't make any
You won't
money.
make money.
The enthusiasm's there. That's a great first step.
That really,
Is that a
that's
lip
all I
on the
got.
bottom?
We believe in you, Matt. Follow your dreams.
Yay!
Full send.
Full send.
Full send into a cardboard box on the street.
Sorry, say again?
Want the porch light?
Sure.
I didn't do much. Oh, there we go. Might just be mucus on the bottom of the rock there, yeah.
Right.
Worth a look. It seems like to be a lot of interesting stuff on that, like, under overhang. So,
Typically, but not so much in this area.
okay.
Yeah.
It is 15 minutes after 7 a.m. I think we're gonna make it to the face there.
Here's another question from chat. What controls does an ROV use?
Sorry, Matt, what controls? What you said?
Yes.
You want me to take a stab at it, Dan, or you want to go ahead?
Sure, go ahead.
And
Alright.
if you
Dan can fill in the gaps. The main controls to navigate Hercules and Atlanta are controls for the thrusters. Hercules has 2 vertical thrusters and a joystick for that. And then it has 2 lateral thrusters and 2 horizontal thrusters in the rear of the vehicle. And 1 joystick for the laterals and horizontals that, depending on which way you move in the XY plane, the vehicle and thrusters follow. So 2 high sensitivity joysticks for the 6 thrusters, as well as a number of controls for camera angles, pan, tilt, zoom, which video Dan controls, extend and retract on the main HD camera. And then there are more controls that are hydraulically powered.
Valve packs.
What I miss?
Valve packs.
The valve packs.
Yeah.
Right, well there's,
2 valve packs.
yes. From the hydraulic pump, there's a main distribution manifold that pumps high pressure hydraulic oil to a couple of valve packs that are distribute the fluid to different parts of the vehicle. Fluid's distributed to the thrusters to power the propellers. It's also distributed to cylinders to extend or retract the bile boxes. The craft and the Magnum manipulators both take hydraulic fluid. And anything else there?
We have to talk about our spatially correspondent 7-function manipulator.
Nice.
That's teleoperated.
Yeah, right. The craft is in a world of its own. I think Dan's got to speak to that one. That's there's its own control discussion.
Well, that's our main control-wise. It has a kinematic replica of the arm that's on the vehicle. So we have a consulate here that has a little mini arm on it. Let's call it mini controller. And they also move in real time. So wherever when we move the mini controller, the arm on the vehicle moves.
I'm going to show a top-down view, Dan. You can show the
Yeah, I just had it up here.
kinematic controller there. This guy.
Without that, we would just be a flying camera.
Right. That's a pretty key part. So to answer your question, there are a lot of different controls. Some inputs are the coolest ones, the kinematic replica, the craft arm, there's joysticks, there's buttons, and there's a comprehensive graphical user interface with lots of toggles.
Yep, ready. We haven't counted the buttons on the GUI in a while. I did at one time. I could tell you how many were on there, but it's usually a blue water
I was
exercise.
going to say, blue water, lots of sediment. What's your guess? Hundreds?
Yeah. There's 90 something I/O functions on the.
And to answer that question in the chat again, do we still have the big old polyp from last night on the box? Yes, believe we do have
big
that.
old polyp.
Still have that really big polyp that we collected last night.
That one's
Still
gonna
in
stick.
our box. Big old stick. Here's another question for the ROV guys, if they're ready.
Sure.
Does the hydraulic oil act differently at this depth?
Yes, it does. Definitely does. I'll give that one to our engineer as well. He's could talk about fluid dynamics for breakfast.
You can tell me more about the effects of the viscosity, but the viscosity of the hydraulic oil is really important. And as you descend lower temperatures, it gets more and more viscous,
More like syrup.
stickier. Yeah, like a lot slower moving. This viscosity is a big factor in the friction between fluids and their interfaces. So. Dan's got more lived experience in terms of what happens when the oil gets colder versus warmer. I know it does expand and contract, which changes the pressures of our compensators and reservoirs, but I'm sure there's some control significances as well.
I don't really feel it control-wise, but it definitely takes more energy to move that cold, thick oil around through the ROV.
This is really interesting, actually. This, I thought it would be sediment up here, but it's actually quite rocky. What's the current here? Is it doing anything noticeable?
I haven't slowed down to really get a feel for it. It's not blowing the tether sideways for sure, so.
I'm curious what Rob thinks about this, if he's done in a lounge, because this is one of the,
There's a particle there flowing through.
like kind of a platform sticking off of the main summit of the guyot.
Just wondering where my dog left that
Sponge
bone.
pit there. Yeah, what is that? Yeah, this looks like a sponge base right here, and then this is a sponge stalk.
You can zoom in there if you want. Yeah.
Sure. You know, we don't have a ton of Can we pick that up?
Sure.
Yeah, just the manganese crusted part.
Ooh, fossil.
It's dead. It's no longer living.
Yeah. So it don't make much difference at this layback, but
It looks like it's been in place for a really long time. An old dog bone or something.
definitely looks like an old dog bone.
Still a fossil, technically.
Yeah, I mean, it does have, you know, fossilized characteristics, but it's
Really?
it's very heavily manganese crusted, except on the bottom.
I wanted to see the other side of it, that's why.
Yeah, Steve, what would we say? Is this a fossil?
Not,
I mean, not really in the, like,
I would call it
traditional
rubble,
Okay.
actually.
That's interesting.
So more in the geology category.
Not working.
Okay.
Yeah, no longer living.
Brandon, quick, what is it?
I don't think I'd call it a fossil.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's still a spongy.
Manganese crusted rubble.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's stow it. I know Dr. Balladur's very interested in
You
these
wanna put that in
manganese
one of the
encrusted
boxes, do you?
sponges. Yeah, we could put it in the starboard box with one of the rocks.
Roger.
I don't know.
F.
F.
Yep.
Uh,
You can put it on top of the rock. It's only
if we can
20
put it in one of
centimeters.
the smaller bins, that would be preferred, because you can always put bigger rocks in F.
Yeah, I think
This one's
so.
only 20 centimeters. You can put another rock in there.
How big is this one, you think?
What's that?
How big is this one, you think?
Yeah, what is that?
Like,
You put the lasers on it?
yeah.
I think it was about 25 centimeters, something like that.
Zoom in a little for us there.
Yeah.
You might have to,
That's
there
tough.
you go.
Yeah,
Zoom out
hold on,
just a
yeah.
bit. Yeah, thanks.
There we go.
Like,
Yeah, so maybe 25
Yeah.
centimeters,
okay.
25 to 30. Okay.
Okay, it can go wide and open that box for me, that'd be great.
Roger that.
There's some pretty convincing evidence lately
Hit
that
5 on the
these
bubble
iron
cap for
manganese
me.
encrusted sponge rubble is of substantial age. So
Substantial
that might,
age.
on the order of, you know, thousands of years potentially.
Cool.
Which one of the little boxes?
D?
D, roger.
what leads us to think that it's that age?
Some data that's come to light.
Nice.
I don't want to
Thank you.
give the exact source in case that's currently in publication.
Sure.
It's not published data yet. In
So
prep, that we call it.
In prep.
In
So
prep.
generally, why? What would lead them to last on the seafloor that long? Why wouldn't they
One
decompose?
on bubble when you get a chance.
So they're silica. It's not very soluble in the water down
let
here.
it swing in.
So
and
the sponge
decrease our
spicules
speed
will
here.
persist for long
Make it
periods of
a little
time,
interesting.
unlike the calcium carbonate, which tends to dissolve. which makes
I
up a
don't
lot of
wanna
corals.
hit the bottom of the slope like we did last time. That was painful.
Yeah.
And that piece was particularly nice because it represented kind of the base we could see. You know, it had just recently fallen off from above. It was relatively in place at that depth, so we know it didn't come from farther up on the seamount. So that, you know, if we can get dating information from that, that suggests that, you know, it's fairly
Tuna
absolute for this
tunicate?
depth.
Or
Another
Ooh.
jelly.
No, it's a jelly.
Jelly.
So
Yep.
current is seemed to be moving pretty good too.
Yeah, now it's moving, right?
Yeah.
It looks like a very big grape with legs.
Why
Like
has
grape.
everything got to be grapes down here?
There's got to be a word for like the tendency to become a grape.
Great
No, like
Petroleum.
carcinization,
It would be
Yeah,
like grape
exactly.
irrigation.
the
Yeah.
tendency for things to become crabs.
Yeah, exactly.
To become a crab.
All right, talk to us about that, Steve, because
All
that's
right, I need
an
to-
idea that just gets like thrown out.
No,
Carcinization.
not yet.
There was
Let's,
actually a paper
let's let
about
it
this.
swing in.
I don't know if it was in the popular press or recently, within the past year, about the propensity
Look around
for
here for a minute.
life to evolve into crab-like morphologies. And, you know, largely within the crustaceans. Like, we're not having mammals involved in the crab-like creatures, but within the arthropods, there's a tendency in the oceans to evolve crab-like shapes. Because, I don't know, maybe they're just very energetic.
There is an XKCD. I mean, so if that made it into
Oh,
the
yeah, maybe
popular imagination.
That's what made it.
When your paper can become a meme, you know, it's got a good chance. You can run for it on the internet.
Yeah. Apparently, the crab-like body plan evolved at least 5 times independently. And they give two major groups. So there's the brachyuran crabs, or the true crabs. You know, things like, you know, think of a blue crab or I don't know, it's a common crab people encounter.
A rock
Shore
crab.
crab, yeah, rock crab. And then there's the Anemurans, or the like hermit crab like animals, which are actually most of the diversity we find down here are Anemurans. 2, you know,
Ooh, and then
crab-like lineages, but
Anemone, cucumber, crinoid, all in the same shot.
yep.
nice.
Here's another question from chat. What is this? What is the sediment? Lime mud covering the ocean basalt? I believe most of this is marine snow, actually. Am I wrong? Or old, more organic.
What is this orange splotch there? Can we do a
Yeah,
partial
what is that?
on this?
Zoom in there a bit for us there.
Sure.
No idea what it is.
What is that?
Is it a worm all curled up?
What?
It's a arm of a star
Oh,
or something. Can we take a closer look?
Yeah.
poor thing.
No,
It looks
what time
detached from its. It looks very much like a Bersingid arm, or maybe an ophioid arm.
Right.
This has just been such a weird dive. Body parts scattered all over the seamount. Skulls and arms.
What was that?
Octopus. It's all its
Already
fault.
got it.
this like
Right in.
collection of floaties.
Taps in there.
Tap soon.
Okay.
What is happening?
Yeah. It's a
Nice. Nice, Dan.
it's a Brisingid arm.
Are we seeing the scene of a crime?
Oh gosh.
It's full zip.
Yeah, weird.
We're accomplices now.
I mean,
Wow.
they're so yeah. Maybe. I mean, you know, they can regrow whole copies of themselves from an arm. So maybe it's not dead yet. It's only a flesh wound.
Collecting power.
Wow.
Wait, it can regenerate itself from just an arm?
Yep. All right, we're all set here.
Wow.
Still got all of that color too.
Oh, because they asexually reproduce, right? Or they can?
Just a
Yeah,
flesh wound.
they can regenerate entirely.
That is crazy.
That's why
It's very cool.
there are old stories from where I used to grow up, Long Island Sound, where they have big oyster fisheries, where back in the day, fishermen used to
Can you come up for a minute?
try to
Yeah,
get rid of the predators of the oysters, the sea stars, by chopping them in half and then throwing them back in the water.
Oh, oh. Wow.
Oops.
Joke's on them.
Yeah.
Didn't really end so well.
Yep.
Are sea stars edible?
Anything can be edible.
With enough butter and seasoning.
Just, yeah, it depends on if you're going to be okay on the other side of the meal.
Sorry, I had to do some tether management there.
Sorry about that.
So I think sometime between here and waypoint 8, Rob's going to want to rock because this site was particularly of interest. I don't really see anything useful here, but maybe when we get to the slope, we can start poking around for a rock.
Yeah, there's a bit of a slope here and just trying to get a sense of...
It's more rock here than I imagined. I kind of expected this to be a flat sediment, but the current's probably helping that.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do a, yeah. She's doing 0.3 now, is she? Yeah, just don't want to have that layback when we hit the slope there.
Another big Brisingid?
Yeah.
What was that, Steve?
No, I didn't say anything.
That was Brandon's Steve imitation voice.
Oh,
Was
sorry.
it?
Sorry.
Oh, we're at
There's
the
a
end of the
plankton
leash
in the
The
there.
water
tendency of all watch
Yeah.
members to become Steve.
What's in the water column?
Steve-ification. Plankton?
That was a plankton.
Oh.
Yeah, you see it right here?
Cool.
Something stuck off, yeah.
Can I have another one of those ginger candies? They're really good.
So is this our Brisingid with the rest of its arms?
Yeah, that's a Brisingid. Yeah, it could be the I don't know,
I think that's...
original
Zoom in on
Original
that
owner of
guy.
that
original
arm?
owner of
Wait.
the arm. Yeah, I don't know what you call that.
Is that Brisingid or Brisingid?
Bris, B-R-I-S.
Okay, so
Brisingid.
that little leg, is that like a regrowing one? See the little one? It's kind
Or
of
is it
lighter
just a
colored.
runt?
Yeah, so that's one in regrowth, yeah.
Wow.
So maybe the other arm we saw back there used to be on that guy.
Yeah, could. Yeah, could be.
And then are Brisingids also asexual? So can it reproduce another of itself with that arm?
Yep,
Cool.
to the best of my
Bounce it a
understanding,
little
yeah.
bit here.
Yeah, They may look like crinoids, but they're actually sea
Good to
stars.
zoom there while we're waiting for the boat.
That little arm.
Very cool.
Yeah, this could be it.
So how old can some of these percentages and yeah, how old could some of these percentages get?
That's a great question. I don't know. I don't know if it's very easy to date them. You usually have to have some sort of piece or part that is relatively static in the body, or is, with animals like this, they'll regrow constantly, right? Arms, so I don't think there's any really dateable piece or portion to it, and carbon dating is not very accurate because it's probably metabolizing, constantly, and it's not really any carbon that is well constrained in its body. So no, I don't think they've ever been dated. All right, we're satisfied back here.
So cool. Such a great view.
So that one has 13 arms also. Is that like a standard number for Brisingid sea stars?
I don't know. I think it can vary.
To answer that question in chat, is there a microphone on the Nautilus? There's many microphones on the Nautilus. In fact, we're talking into one right now.
I wonder if they were wondering if there's a audio pickup on Hercules.
Yeah. There is not. But there could be. That's totally a technology that exists.
There's going to be with our next camera upgrade.
I think it's really interesting. Like, if you ask every pilot, they like have vastly different answers about like, is Hercules loud? Some people are like, oh, it's super loud. And some people are like, it's not so loud. Like it's just, I think like a variability of different machinery worked with before.
It depends what your definition of
The
loud
biggest,
is. Loud is relative.
biggest use from the microphone is to be able to hear when the arm or the vehicle contacts them, so you get the thump. Like when you set something down, you hear you can hear when it hits the table.
Right.
For me, that's
That's the
it's
plus.
very useful, yeah. A lot of times we set down and you have no idea where or when the ROV touched.
Yep. Especially if you're smooth and delicate.
So apparently Brisinges can have anywhere between 6 and 20 arms.
20 arms?
Heck of a range.
Wow.
Do arms symbolize maturity, or just look at the draw of how many arms you get?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yep.
At least with like sun stars, the shallow water ones, like, you kind of get more arms as you get bigger. You get more space, on the ring.
Interesting.
Despite having so many arms, they're not really all that handy.
Has he been like this all morning?
It's the first one.
Yeah, it's
That's been brewing for a while.
I like to,
Think
stew.
of the glove costs. Mittens. Now I want to put mittens on a Brisingid.
How would a Brisingid wear jeans?
So many arms.
Are
so
the
few
legs on the
hands.
bottom half?
There could be 20-legged Janes, right?
I'd like to think it's one that's like mittens, you have to put them on.
We've been here before.
Yeah, I feel like we have to.
Below the Brisingid, there might be a good
Deja
rock.
vu.
If you feel like stopping.
There's another slide up there too, so it might have other choices.
Okay.
Slope.
I only just saw it, or I would have mentioned it earlier.
Of course, we're going to get right to the base of that slope and then
Fine.
sample something right at the watch change,
That's just the way it
as
goes.
is per usual.
Yeah,
It's the laws of the van.
We saw the Casper. It's all right.
That's true. We did need to see Casper.
And 8,000 anasties. How the heck you say it?
Inipniastes?
You'll get it eventually.
Igniastes?
Inipniastes?
Answer the question, chat. Is there a decent amount of current here? Would you say so,
Funny you
Steve?
should
There's a
ask.
decent amount? There's a little bit.
In parts, yeah.
A little bit of current going on. Then how old are some of these larger corals? How old can corals
Sorry,
get?
pulling
It's a
you
little
out.
hard to date corals specifically, especially when we diving down. And how old can corals get? They can get
We do
pretty
one
old.
quick
I'm not
move, 20
entirely
meters
sure
east.
exactly like how old on average the coral we find down here is.
Unless you want
but
to,
Steve,
unless
do
you
have
want to
an
go
average
across the
lifespan of a
flats.
coral
Uh,
off the top of noggin?
Are we?
decades to
Oh, okay.
centuries, yeah.
Might as well get it over
It's
with. Roger.
very old types of corals.
Getting it over with.
Yeah, how, like, cause like, since corals, cause they're a colonial organism, right? And so they
Some
keep,
of them, yep.
or some of them,
Yep,
and so
some are
like,
solitary, like the species we saw, the sea pen we saw, as well as cup corals, they're solitary.
okay.
So one animal per unit, but many are colonial, yeah.
But for the colonial animals, like, can you actually date them if we had a way? Since like sometimes new polyps keep coming out. So would you like restart the clock, or would you just
No, you'd probably
take the average?
Want me to pull it
try to
around?
find some sort of aspect of
Give
their
it a try.
skeleton. You know, they lay down, layers of skeleton over time. So the oldest and probably least, altered over time is probably in the center of their skeleton, somewhere
Okay.
near their base.
Okay, so kind of like a tree trunk sort of deal,
Yeah,
more or
kinda like
less.
that, yep.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Although
Oh, you
down
want me to
here
go
it
the
may
other way?
not be annual
Can you?
rings,
Yeah,
it
give it a
might be
try.
something
Here we go.
different.
So you can count the layers of skeleton? Is that what you're saying?
Potentially, in some species, yep.
Interesting.
You can do that with black corals, you can do that with bamboos, some plexurids, but not all corals have that effect.
Could you do?
You couldn't do sea pens.
Okay.
Yeah, sea pens don't do that.
So like for those corals, like soft corals, would you take like tissue and do isotope dating, or?
I don't know if that would be very effective. Yeah. That would be much more tough. Anything with a soft body that doesn't calcify
Negative.
is very tough.
Let me pull it around.
Okay.
And sclerites can often be regenerated. So those, even though they're calcium carbonate, are not really useful datable material.
Oh, interesting.
I guess you could reference date it, just like, oh, when did it regenerate, if somebody was interested in that. Sometimes dating like that can be important. Have reference dates instead of absolute dates. At least in geology.
Okay.
Yep.
No, it should come around if I give you some slack.
Roger. Yep.
Perfect. It's going to be a first. We're going to leave
It's kinda
Josh
like-
without a turn in
Just
the 6-8.
thinking about that.
It's hard to date sedimentary rocks, but you can always have relative dating by looking at layers.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Oh.
There's your Nypniastes.
Independent.
Oh, actually, no, that's a fish. Just kidding.
Yeah.
It's our bony eared,
Chop for that seabed.
Bony or donkey fish.
one of your donkey fish.
I thought you were talking to me. It's like, what?
Oh, I'm talking about the fish.
Oh, is this the Acanthonus armatus fish? Or is that
Possibly.
another?
I didn't get a really good look at it.
You want a picture?
You look behind the gills, see if there's a spike or a spine.
Mm.
Possibly.
Kind of this right here?
Yeah.
No, that's the fin. Yeah, that's the spine.
Yeah. Gotcha. Maybe the other picture.
So here's another question from chat. Is it possible to describe a new species of octopus without actually collecting it?
No, probably not.
That is a contentious debate of whether you can describe a species without having a specimen. I have a feeling if they could, they would have.
Worked well.
It's the Atalanta assist.
But that has not yet been done to the best of my knowledge.
It did work all right.
But that has been done for gelatinous plankton, like a ctenophore
Yeah,
before.
it couldn't come around because of the current, so I just gave a little tug on the tether and it got past the...
But so for most of the time, you have to actually collect a sample in order to...
Yeah, I mean,
set
that
up for the...
to me that just sounds like... That sounds like the...
No, I'm trying to get set
You know,
up
if you're
for,
describing a new
X
species,
coming up to
the taxonomy is going to
steep
change,
part
you
there.
know, maybe a dozen times over a few hundred years. It's always good to have a reference specimen so that you know, the origin of that species and can compare it to new things that might come along. But yeah, it's a contentious activity. I know that it's been long debated in the birding community, like bird species, whether you could describe its species, based on photographic evidence, because many birds can be like endangered species. So I could understand the reason for not wanting to collect those, but in the deep sea, I don't really think there's good rationale for not collecting something down here, unless it's either well known or collected otherwise, or potentially sensitive habitat. Deep sea is a big place. There's a lot of animals down here. Just you have to know where to look.
It would be kind of cool to be able to bring the lab to the deep sea and fully describe or diagnose or like chemically sample without taking the whole, like it was visiting the doctor's office as opposed to like bringing it into the lab and dissecting it.
Yeah, that's kind of where eDNA is going.
What's going on here?
Yeah, hopefully, sensors become more, economical and more precise, so that we can measure a whole bunch of different variables in situ without having to sample.
Sure.
If someone was interested, sorry, one sec. If someone was interested in the main variables you're looking for, and some, like for example, your coral and sponge samples, how would they find out what kind of variables you need?
Yeah, that's a good question.
What are the bathing lanes there?
Probably
20
need a
meters?
microscope. That's usually the first step.
Yeah. 50-meter wall, maybe?
It's kind of the same rationale, behind what can you send on a Mars lander, right? Or a Mars rover. Maybe, do they have microscopes on the Mars rovers these days? I haven't been really following along, but
Yeah,
I would
They do?
imagine,
Yeah, absolutely.
if you had something like that and, $100 billion, maybe you could design something like that for the deep sea. But it seems to
Only
be...
we had NASA's budget.
Yeah, a tenth of NASA's budget.
I'm not sure that there's a lot of also focus on the deep sea from those kind of investors, unfortunately. But you could change that, viewers at home, if you want to click that donation button on our nautiluslive.org.
Talk to your local politician too.
Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting history. A lot of the major advancements in oceanography come from geopolitical tension, specifically following the Second World War.
So, war is... Never mind. I was about to say it was war, like that kind of...
It's a catalyst for technological advancement.
Good for deep sea.
I'm sure there's a lot of cross-pollination between, the space race and sensors and equipment for exploring the deep ocean too.
There
So
absolutely is.
Yeah.
Oceaneering has a big player in that.
the only difference is space only has to go 1 atmosphere, while we have to go
Several.
hundreds of atmospheres.
Yeah. And because corrosion in the deep sea, whereas there's radiation in space. Different challenges.
Plus, I think the deep sea can
A lot
be
of
cooler
similar
than
ones.
space.
There are a lot of similar ones. Especially when you're talking about exploring Europa. Then it gets really similar.
What is Europa again?
It's an ice moon
It's an ice
with
moon.
liquid ocean
Oh.
underneath.
Is it Saturn?
Saturn? Yeah.
10 kilometers of ice on top.
The gravity of Saturn as it orbits around stretches Enceladus, or Europa, sorry, and keeps the water liquid below the ice. Enough energy to keep it melted.
There's a great
Wow.
game about that called Barotrauma. Highly
They've
recommend it.
detected some plumes too.
Yeah, like in the atmosphere around Saturn. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's how they found the water in the first place.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Water or methane?
I thought it was water. Water vapor in the atmospheres orbit around Saturn. There is a Titan has like methane seas.
Yeah, maybe it's Titan I'm thinking about.
Yeah. There is a mission plan to send a submarine to Titan.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool looking sub. I've seen the drawing, like the renderings. Hydrocarbon oceans, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty wild.
All right. We're coming up on a launch change here. We are currently being relieved by Team You're Muted. This is Does It End the Benthic Storms. Tuning out.
Okay. Prepare for mass chaos.
And
I'm out. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
we'll see you later. And I'm still here. Hi, everybody. How are we doing? Hi, everybody. I guess I'm part of TV muted now until I've been relieved.
Oh, I'm here.
How's it
Oh,
going,
great.
Matt?
Never mind. I am relieved.
Yeah, I got this.
All right. Would you like the big chair?
No, I'm
Okay.
good.
Great. Bye. Never mind.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, our dear audience. We'll be with you shortly. We're all getting settled here.
Hello, everyone. So the vessel is stopped because they were trying to see if there was a cliff right in front of us. So we'll see. Hmm.
Yeah, it looks like tight contours, but the sonar is going to be probably our best guess there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
Good
get the ship moving
morning.
again.
Sounds good.
Just go like 0.2 just because the wall will come up here
Okay.
quickly, I'm sure.
Probably. Bridge nav. Can we do a course of 340 at 0.2 knots for 30 meters?
And of course, with all this talk about sleep paralysis last night, I had an event.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, what's
Was it
this?
spooky?
Yeah, it's a little bit. I woke myself up pretty quickly.
Oh, nice.
Did it involve a solumbalula?
No, it was
Zoom on that.
just a guy chasing me with a knife.
Oh,
A mild one.
Oh, nice.
Will you zoom in, please?
He kind of looked like Yvonne. Just kidding. Not. Let's go, squatty.
What?
Is that oh, that's okay.
It's a off-your-eye.
My eyes aren't focused in yet.
Yeah.
Still in cucumber eyes.
Gotta switch them out.
Maybe let's
Yeah.
take
Depend on
increase to 0.3 until we see the wall in the sonar, and then we'll come down. Yeah, we'll come wide, please.
Bridge nav, can we increase speed to 0.3 knots for 50 meters? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm surprised this ledge didn't show up.
Oh, I'm sure it'll show. I haven't seen it yet in the sonar, but
Yeah.
once I see it in the sonar, we'll slow down to 0.2
Good.
again.
And we're going to definitely want to rock there.
Do you want it more at the base, or
Here it doesn't really matter.
doesn't matter?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it hasn't moved very far. I was thinking the same thing, Hoku.
All right.
Hello?
Oh, I'm not there.
You're there. I hear
Oh,
you.
I am? I
Yeah.
am? I have the mic like all the way up to my mouth. Okay. Aloha mai kako. Aloha kakiaka. Aloha winala. Aloha ahi, wherever you are in the world. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. You're officially with the You're Muted crew again this morning, eh? And so we've got some questions coming into the chat for our scientist, but I wanted us to go through some quick introductions. Who are you and what do you want to do with your life?
Please don't ask that.
I want to
Terrible
eat
question.
cheese for my life, the rest of my life. I'm going to go on food tours for the rest of my life. Rob, how's it going?
It's great, Hoku. Good morning. Yeah, I'm Rob Colony. I'm watch lead, also geology lead on this expedition. And I wouldn't mind fly fishing as much as I can. That's my life goal.
That's a good life goal. Food, tranquility. Aloha, Liz.
Aloha. My name's Liz Miller. I'm here as a guest scientist from the University of Hawaii, where I'm a PhD student, biologist on this watch. I don't know, I'd like to be at sea as much as possible, do more of this.
Nice. Aloha, Taylor Ann.
Aloha. My name is Taylor Ann, and I am the science manager and data logger on this watch. And I'm also a graduate student, but at California State University, Northridge. And I have no idea what I want to do with my life, other than, yeah, be at sea and also create beautiful things.
Right, awesome. Love that. Aloha, Emma. Good morning.
Good morning, I'm Emma, and I am from Annapolis, Maryland, go to Coast Guard Academy, and for the foreseeable future, I'll be in the Coast Guard, but after that, I don't know. That's a big question.
Thank you, Emma. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning. Josh Chernov, Herc pilot for the watch and ROV operations manager for OET from Vancouver Island, British Columbia. And yeah, I still don't know what I want to do with my life. Been coming out for a while, out to Nautilus and other ships in the past, more to sea for a bit, but yeah, I don't know. Still lots to do, I think.
Right. So much to do. Michael, I can't wait to hear from you. Aloha, Michael.
Morning.
Good
My name is Michael
morning.
Yyyy. I am going to be the Atlanta pilot for this watch. I am also a grad student at UCLA, and I'm doing it.
Nice.
Doing it and doing it
I'm
and
at
doing
sea.
it.
That's where I need to be. I'm not tossing people's hats off or nothing.
Zoom in, please.
Thank you, Michael. Aloha, Dave.
Yeah, working on looking at this fish right now.
All right.
Dave, lead video engineer on this expedition, and pushing all the buttons and making the cameras look good on this watch. And when I'm
come wide, please.
not at sea on Nautilus or other ships, I'm retired. So it's kind of a been there, done that scenario. But what I want to do is travel around some more and make sure that I visit my granddaughters. I have 2 granddaughters.
Oh. Aloha, Ivan. Good morning.
Aloha, Ivan Vicente with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. I actually still don't know what it is, what my purpose is, but I feel like as of late, I have this little ROV in the very abyss of my heart, like going really deep, so I can try to find that inner child, so I can, bring out wisdom and that joy, and then perhaps purpose will find me, because that's the most beautiful purpose, is when it finds you, and you don't find it.
Zoom in, please.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Thank
This
you,
is another.
Yvonne.
That is
big.
Cucumber.
Pretty.
That is a very large.
Yeah, that's another benthidites like we collected before. It's a good size.
Yeah.
Way too big for us to slurp.
Yeah, way too big. Yeah. That's 30, 40
It
centimeters
looks like a
long.
rock.
I don't know how to spell benthidites.
It's okay.
I did my best.
And Hoku, what about you?
Oh, aloha. So I'm Hoku. I'm your science communicator. I come from the Mokuokeawe, Big Island of Hawaii. I just want to paddle for the rest of my life, voyaging large oceans in my canoes, taking me to places that, I think that's it. That can, paddling,
That's
voyaging. Every time I look out at this ocean, I think how beautiful a va'o would be on it. So beautiful. Thank you, everybody. So we're going to open up our questions. The first one is for Rob. What are those weird little circles of neatly arranged stones we keep seeing?
Well, I'm going to pass because I don't think they're stones. I'm going to pass this off to Liz.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming what they're referring to is like what's shown right now.
Okay.
It's the trace of some sort of animal, but I'm not really sure what. I think it's something that's inside of the sediment. So we're seeing a lot of what we'd say like biotraces. So signs that they're animals that are moving the sediment around. Most of them are probably what we would call in fauna. So they live buried inside the sediment, so that there's way more life than what we're seeing here. It's just a lot of it is inside the sediment.
Yeah, I've been curious since we've been seeing all of that, those characteristics. Thank you, Liz. Emma, I have a question for you. What does a Coast Guard Academy candidate do on Nautilus?
Oh, I am a navigation intern, so I help coordinate between the ROV pilots and scientists and the mate on the bridge steering the boat to help put the boat where we need to go. So yeah. And also when we're not doing ROV launches, then I help map. So mapping the seafloor.
Nice. Would you like to take this time, aloha Benthic boy, to share about where we're at right now and what we're doing?
Well, we're kind of past, I have a question for the van. So we're kind of past where the cliff was supposed to be. Do we want to continue this way or go to waypoint 8?
Well, you see that little small cone to the east of waypoint 8?
The east? Here? Here?
Yeah, that one down there. Let's head to that. I mean, we're moving right along.
Moving right along.
So we're on schedule. I think we have a.
So wait, this cone?
No. Is that a
I think it's a divot,
Oh, it
not
is
a
a
cone.
divot.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
that
no,
one.
just go on to 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going back in my head, back and forth, trying to look at the contours.
Yeah. It's optical illusion.
And it could actually be a
Bridge now.
potentially an errant ping, too.
Can we change course to 295?
With a little mass in the
Yep.
middle.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would also be interested in a sediment core from somewhere in this area.
Ooh, cool.
Okay.
I don't know if
Yeah.
it'll be the right texture, but we could try.
Okay, do you want to do that now?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just stop the ship. We'll just stop the ship, and then we'll
Yeah.
keep carrying on for
I
a
mean-
bit until we slow down.
It
Bridge now.
doesn't have to be
Can we
right
hold
here.
position?
Yeah, once we swing, and then we can stop, and I'll sit down.
Sure.
Thank you.
No, Emma, you got a shout out.
Oh,
Thank you for your service. What a wonderful opportunity you have.
thank you.
Yvonne, I think we got a question in the chat there for you.
I'm trying to find that one. Which one is it?
The do you.
Do you ever stir up the sediment to find creatures under it? There's a lot of turbidity we allow to build up in our hearts, and sometimes we just have to remove it to find the light, right? There's beautiful creatures that actually come and, and surround your life, yeah. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, that is totally what I'm talking about.
The philosophical
Absolutely.
one.
We're stirring sediment, finding creatures.
Got to stir the sediment to find the critters.
In all seriousness. All seriousness aside. No. I think that in these expeditions that is definitely allowed, but we don't do it. I don't think we've been stirring up anything to find anything underneath, right? Only the rocks are the only things that come closest to anything under the sediment when we remove certain rocks.
So we're about to take a sediment core. Well,
and sediment
we're gonna
cores.
try.
That's right.
We'll see.
But if you're looking for the things that are in the sediment, there are other ways that don't involve ROVs that are usually what we would use.
Like what?
There's something called an epibenthic sled, which is like it's a sled that you drag along the bottom, and it scoops up the top layer and filters stuff out of the mud. Or you can use something called like a multi-core or box core, which are just ways to collect larger kind of pieces of sediment, but keep it a little bit more intact until it gets up to the surface.
Zoom in, please.
Is that a tripod?
I think
No.
so.
That's it.
Oh, wow, it is.
Little one.
It's not a keeper, though. Too small.
Oh, let's say that.
Yeah, we'll come wide, please.
It took off.
Yep.
Ching.
That's the, what was Ken talking about, that nerve response earlier? They have like one big nerve that runs the length of their body that when they like startle. I don't know. I don't remember what he was saying.
So Emma, question for you here from the crowd. What does a Coast Guard Academy cadet do on Annapolis?
So I am the...
Make sure to answer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's already been asked.
Navigation intern.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oops. Where was I? I guess I was digging up turbidity in the bottom of my heart when you answered that one earlier.
All good.
Well, there's a question here about the ripples that we're seeing. Is the bed flat at this depth, or do the things like the ripples, mega ripples, still form?
I would expect them to form here, but I don't really see any evidence of it unless it's a longer wavelength than we can see in our field of view.
Yeah, I think most of the texture we're seeing is caused by biology.
I mean, which is surprising because the last bits of the dives on the steep slopes, it's been a lot of current.
Yeah.
And then once you get up the top here on the flat area, it's pretty mild. Just like the model predicts.
Well, and it looks like there's less marine snow coming down, but there's a lot of it on the substrate.
That's an interesting observation. So it makes you think, is the marine snow coming down from above, or is it just kind of being
Like,
wafted away off off the top of this?
yeah.
Okay, give me the sample salvo and change the camera for me. Just bump the drawer out a bit. Yeah, right there is good.
Yeah, looks pretty red. Looks like Herc's been working out.
All right, so we have a question coming in from Ben Thickboy. What is the largest creature that we've seen on this expedition?
Dive cell.
It's probably that 6 gill that we saw.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
It's a shark.
Although would any of those corals that we were seeing last night be bigger than the shark?
Maybe.
They seemed really tall. Long.
Yeah, maybe in length, but not biomass.
Mm-hmm.
Go zoom in, please.
Oh, there.
That's good. Just come a little wider. It's hard.
Huh. Weird.
Is it getting in there?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's can't seem to push it down any further than that.
Dang.
Doesn't mean it won't stick though.
It's what, maybe 5 centimeters in now? A little more?
Yeah, the total length of the acrylic part is 11 inches. So
just under 30 centimeters.
Okay, yeah, it's going in a little bit.
So mahalo for your questions. As soon as we're done taking the sample, we'll begin addressing them again.
I don't think I'm getting anywhere in that.
Okay.
All right, we'll come wide, please. Okay, sample salvo.
Did it come out? We got it? Oh, yay.
Not
there yet.
It's not done yet.
Questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might as well try the other ones, not right here, but maybe a little bit farther up if we see another area that's, you know, not disturbed. Maybe hopefully at least one of them would come up.
And that was sample 249.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, close the drawer.
Thanks. Would it be easier for you to like try a second one close by, just while this ship is stopped?
Yeah.
Cool. Maybe if we could just, yeah, scoot up out of this disturbed area.
What do you think about me trying to do it not in the HD view? So in other words, I do it right at the side and then go right into the thing.
Yeah, that's
you
good.
won't be able to see it being done as well, but
that's okay.
Yeah, I think it'd be increase our chances of success without having to swing all the way around.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
Are we gonna want to secure the starboard port with that?
I don't know, maybe, we'll see. Not really pushing down that hard. Yeah, but I can scoot up ahead a little bit and then we can try again.
Sounds good.
I only asked because when we were just sitting there, you're
just creating a...
yeah, it was just
sure.
Up a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Interesting little depression there. Seeing the
yeah
Atalanta cam. Yeah, I wonder what's causing that core refusal.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Like, I don't think there's like rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine this is much deeper than that.
Yeah.
And if it's so hard, why does it still fall out of the core?
Yeah. Right, I was just going to ask, like, do you think it's just harder down? Like the sediment's just so compacted?
Well, I mean, it is tougher to core in sand.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
just
it could
in
be
general.
just a more coarse material than you were seeing on the surface.
Those are a lot of tracks right there. Is that something other than a sea cucumber?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I don't think it's a cucumber.
Right, because last night the line, ooh, and there's that circle.
Yeah. A couple of them.
Stonehenge markers.
Do you think, like, I was just thinking of a sea star, the way that sea star was laying, it got covered with the sediment.
Yeah.
But then wouldn't you see some kind of streak or movement? It looks so perfect. Like when the sea star would move, I would think it would mess up that imprint. But
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Mystery. So many mysteries.
Okay, why don't you secure that for us for now?
All right, I'm secure right now.
Yep.
Starboard vert secured.
Roger.
And we need to add a vibracore to the system here.
What?
A vibracore would get that down through that.
What is that?
It vibrates, so you can actually core set it, or more coarse sediment that way.
Oh, I've never seen one of those.
Yeah.
Those are very hard on ROVs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can do them.
I mean, even using them on a ship, it's pretty,
Yeah.
pretty loud and shaky.
All right, let's salvo.
Ready for a pop?
Yeah.
Why does that look like it has stuff in it? Oh, I see. It's empty. It's just.
Just has a little leftover.
Yeah.
There are, there are holes in the core sheaths. So
And the quivers, yeah.
And the quivers. There you go.
So I'm going to try and do it here. Is that okay?
Yeah, sounds
So
good.
I can sort of see it on the starboard view there. And then that way I can just hopefully go like right back in.
Yeah, and hopefully the bottom seal's a little better.
Yeah, I really give that first one a good
Yeah,
push.
I saw that. Thanks.
It's a little harder to tell, but I think just for the sake of time, it's probably worth trying. It's just going in.
Looking better.
Okay, I'm gonna try that. Huh. I got some.
Yeah.
Sediment's obscuring the whole. Totally blind. Can't see where it's.
I can re-engage the vert. Maybe that will help clear things up. Maybe.
Maybe. Oh, come on. Well, maybe we just try that again. Can't see where the home is, and now I don't know
Yeah,
the
now
bottom fell out or not.
it's starting to.
There's still some in there.
Yeah.
There is still some
Yeah.
in there.
That
but-
got all bubbled up in the core though.
Yeah,
They got all
kind of mixed around.
It got all churned. Yeah, I think it left.
We have lots of time, so.
Yeah, maybe retry it.
Okay.
Because now it looks like it's just all got mixed around in there.
Yeah, as soon as I got to be able to see the, at least the edges of what I'm trying to put it in.
Yeah, that was
Can't
sandstorm.
be totally blind.
Oh, you just want the top, right? So it doesn't matter if I have a little bit of sediment in the bottom of the quiver then?
Yeah, that's okay.
From a previous attempt?
That's fine.
Do you want to go to a fresh spot? Or I could try swinging around again, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, whatever you think is easiest.
Yeah, both are
both are hard.
kind of hard.
Yeah.
Let me just do a little practice run here.
Okay.
See if I can get a little muscle memory going if I can't see it.
That looks like the most awkward angle possible.
Well, maybe I'll do it just in the HD.
Okay.
Just so we can just see it. So let's do the sample or the dive salvo.
Are you moving, or are you just gonna do it?
I'm just gonna do it here. Just gonna do it kind of like so I don't have to go very far. I can't believe how hard it is. Like I've got the whole vehicle mass on that right now.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, see how I'm lifting up the ROV?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I just broke through something there.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, there goes the hole in the bottom of the sea thing.
Unless I just broke the acrylic.
That'd be not ideal.
Okay, let's give her a shot here. So as soon as I get it out and start turning, then you can switch over.
Copy.
Moving the whole ROV.
It's not gonna come out.
I can't get it out. I'm gonna pull the top right off.
It's true.
One of those Stonehenge critters is holding it.
There you go.
Oh, there it
Oh.
goes. Pop.
Holy, that was crazy.
Well,
I don't think I've ever seen that before. Oh, come on. You gotta be joking. Sorry, Liz.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's puffing out of the top of the
Yeah.
core.
Oh. Well. Yeah, there it
there
goes.
it goes.
Oh, man.
It's okay.
I think the current just picked up too.
Maybe there's so much sediment in the bottom of that tube.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I don't know why I can't seem to get that muscle memory happen. I'm just missing the
Well,
flare.
Can't really see.
Yeah.
I think
There it goes.
the tubes are starting to get like jagged, so they might be getting caught.
Yep.
Well, there might be something in there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
There was a lot coming up.
Yeah.
Top.
We'll go ahead and log that as sample 250.
Sounds good.
I mean, we can. I'm happy to try again. I mean, just got to get one smooth, like, dunk it right away. But
Yeah. I don't really think there's a reason to save it. I think all the sediment we see is going to be similar to this.
yeah,
So if you're up for it,
Yeah.
might as well try the third.
yeah, might as well.
I think that strategy of doing it in the HD, but like just off to the side, that seems like a good one.
Okay. Of course, the back one is the hardest one.
It's got a different
It's got a
handle.
different. It's got a round ball. Yeah.
Ah.
Okay, can dive level. I'll scoot up a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds good.
You want to keep the box open?
Maybe just close it for now, just to be safe.
Does it matter if you're near one of those critter traces?
No.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna core Sammy.
Been hitting the gym.
He's a coring supervisor.
I've done some where they get snails like right on the top and stuff. That's pretty cool, but
That is cool.
those are muddier. Those were just like, a lot of times you just, once you get it and a little bit of the sediment kind of, the finer stuff, which kind of gets blocks your view, just gone by the time you get over there, but you still have like the plug in there, and then you can actually take a little bit of time to get it in there, and it's still it's fine. But this is like a race.
Extreme coring.
Sorry.
This needs to be a reality TV show.
ROV Olympics.
Who can core the finest sand?
Wow, if only it was fine sand.
That's true.
It's actually too coarse. I think that's some of the issue.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, I think that's why it slides out.
Yeah, it's a little coarser material.
Oh, so it doesn't create a seal as well?
Yeah.
Doesn't have as good of a ring to it, though.
Ooh, getting the good stuff. So it looks like whatever that is pretty continuous.
Similar depth.
It's got to be a layer of sandy or something like that, or I'm not sure if this calcium carbonate fuses or solidifies a little with time.
Well, if we can get a good core, we can maybe figure it out.
Yeah.
If it lets us.
I have a feeling that stuff may run out pretty easily.
Yeah, but we are getting deeper compared to the other cores that you tried.
Yeah, that was good.
So.
Yeah, it runs out so fast. Reminds me of my blind dates at a restaurant.
I've never had to pull the core out of the sediment before. Like usually once it's in there, then you can just slide it out. But I'm not literally having to like pull it out, like force.
It's
like right now, it
top.
should be sliding out, but it's not. Like,
oh,
there it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll switch over.
Some of the biogenic ooze we core has some sort of a marley character to it, so it's kind of a bit of a mix.
Nice.
There you go.
Third time's a
Bingo.
Hey, we got it. Third time's the charm.
Nice. That is sample 251.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Sorry, I'm just going to give it a little more of a, make sure it's snug down on the plug.
Well, that third one went in nice and easy.
Okay. Close that drawer. We can get the ship started, I think.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, folks.
Bridge nav. Do you want to point 3 knots again?
Sure.
Yeah, thanks, Josh.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is like the hardest sediment ever.
No, it was it's a challenge one for sure.
Do a course of 290 at 0.3 knots for 50 meters.
Oh, what's up, Sammy?
He's just checking
He's
the job.
been in the gym.
Yeah, just supervising.
Thank you.
Zoom in, please.
Sammy,
Hey.
you could have given us some help. Like, hold it from the bottom.
Yeah.
Yes,
I love it.
geez. His little legs.
Hi.
That
Oh, that was cool.
Come on,
made
please.
me unreasonably happy.
Is that thruster
Yeah.
working again? Okay.
I put it back on.
Okay. Yeah, that was interesting. Like I really had to push, and then I got maybe like 15 centimeters in, and then it like broke through to another layer. But then I like really had to pull up to like like that second one, or sorry, the one before last, just really like all of a sudden popped up because I was really
weird.
pulling
Seemed
harder than I
aggressive.
thought. So the third one I just kind of waited and then put a bit of pulling on it and just kind of waited for it to slide out. But yeah, it's interesting how compact it was.
Yeah.
There's more of those
Weird markings.
crop circles.
Yeah, crop circles.
Hey, this is where we are with the, so from here up, yeah. But yeah, we could do the carbonate one.
So Rob, someone's asking if the sand is mainly made of carbonate.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is from the shells of zooplankton and the surface foraminifera. I mean, they look like sand grains, but they're really interesting shells. They kind of Look like a little mini snail, but has a bunch of holes in the test.
Thank you, Rob.
So that cliff never came.
I mean, sometimes multi-beam doesn't always just get the surface.
Yeah.
It actually does penetrate sometimes up to 10 meters into the sediment when it bounces off something hard. So I wonder if that's some sort of an anomalous.
I don't know. That's cool.
It's an interesting mark in the sediment.
That's our coring spot, I think.
Oh, I didn't realize we went backwards.
I'm waiting for the ship to get
What's that?
start swinging. You can see the little pattern of Herc.
Yeah.
Bottom little mesh there.
It's still a biotrace.
Herc stamp.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Well, look at all those things.
Wow.
I want to know what they are so bad.
Is this an alien station?
4,
I don't know.
6, 8, 10, 12.
I think we've seen much more alien things down here.
Yeah.
The crop circles. Bridge nav, we can take another step.
So this is probably our last watch on this site.
Yeah.
They're going to start coming up at noon?
I thought we were
16.
Oh,
Yeah.
16.
Yeah.
4.
At the surface.
And then we're going to head a little farther north.
Oh, you decided?
Yeah.
That's the one that's closer, or a 12-hour transit?
It's just about an 8-hour, I think 8-hour transit is what. Looks like a double geo area.
This one right here?
Yeah, that's it, correct.
Cool.
It's another big Benthidites, it looks like.
Yeah, how far away is that? Are those geos?
Oh, yeah. The edge of the first one is...
No, go to the middle, go to the middle. Yeah,
Here?
right there, perfect.
52 nautical miles.
How many?
52.
Okay.
It's not that far.
5,200 nautical miles? Or 52 nautical miles? Okay.
Yeah, like
Okay.
5 hours.
That's a lot, I didn't hear you.
5,200.
Okay.
Oh
That's
my
what I was going
boy.
to say.
Now, how many hours would that
It
take?
will zoom in,
It's
please.
about 5 at 10 knots. 5 hours at 10
5
knots.
hours.
It's got a polychaete right next to it.
Oh, probably keep friend.
Yep, just associate.
Oh yeah, associate.
A lot of assumptions there for a friend.
Such a deep purple.
Yeah, they like stain the ethanol we preserve them in. No matter how many times you change it, it just stays like black.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, come my please.
What do polychaete do?
It's a good question. We've seen them associated with a lot of different cucumbers as well as an urchin and some other things. And I don't know if it's some sort of mutualism or if they just follow larger things to like, actually, yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
Aloha Argentina and school students watching the show. Yeah, we discover things depending on the dives, and it's very relative. We're yet to discover many things that we have been collecting today and since last night, like things to be discovered in the sediment sample that we just took. There are some specimens that we have collected as well. And there'll be a lot more to discover about what's been collected, but also discoveries on sites. We do from time to time come across very interesting discoveries.
For example, what we saw last night. So, pretty cool.
And on the website, nautiluslive.org, you get to see some of the highlights. And last night, like Taylor just said, we discovered an amazing solembella.
That was Emma.
Oh, sorry, Emma.
It's all good.
Sorry, Taylor.